Hey guys, massive apologies. It has been a few weeks since I actually done my account update. I haven't stopped playing the game. I haven't had a desire to not do any recording. It's just that a lot of stuff's been going on for me with work and real life, and also just doing other things in life that just take up a lot of time, like socializing. Who knows? You have to do that from time to time. So yeah, that's been a big thing that's going on for me. The other thing is too, I'm going to actually move these updates actually from being weekly to bi-weekly. It kind of makes more sense as well because what was actually happening early on when I was playing, there was lots of things going on for me in the game, and I was making a lot of progress because obviously sometimes at the earlier stage in an account, you make progress a little bit quicker. This is obviously slowed down a bit as you get into more the grinding parts of the game. It's fine. I'm getting access to bigger things. I'm doing more things, but the changes that I'm a little bit slower to get, like getting up those gear ranks, takes a little bit longer than it did beforehand. So I'm going to move these to bi-weekly. Maybe it might even move to monthly, and I'll give a bigger account summary what I've done, all the changes. But I think bi-weekly might be a good place to just move it for now. I also want to share. There's some massive announcement now. It's crazy. It's crazy. The one time I didn't record my requisition openings, as in all the ones you get free from doing all the things you do throughout the weeks, I got him. I finally got him. I got Calgar. I got it. It happened. It's incredible. I can't believe that it did. But yeah, it did, and it was a massive thing for me. And I'm really, 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 really stoked about it. It was pretty cool. Um, yeah. Since getting him, doing some of the campaign stuff, being up some of the battles, doing some of the events and stuff's been pretty cool. As you can see there, he's now on my list of characters, so I'm really, really stoked. I couldn't believe it was a free one too. So massive, massive. So got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. And anyway, moving on. It's going to take me some time before I get the gear and make him actually really worth it. But I got him, and that's the huge, huge thing. As I said, won't harp on that for much longer. Uh, some of the other things I have learned since my last update. I want to add this kind of little segment here because I think it's important for me to look back at my development. I think it's also for anyone else who's interested and watching these, see some of the things I have learned and potentially I should learn. So if there's some other things here you could tell me in my comments, please do so. I'll take this opportunity as well. Remember, subscribe and to smash that like button because it helps me to know that this is worth doing, and that the other people can find this as well. Because the more likes, the more subscribes, more people know about what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do. So I appreciate if you're watching this, you've gotten this far, please like and subscribe. Really do appreciate it. So yeah, I'm adding in this little section here what I learned from last week, and one of the big ones I learned, I mentioned it a little while ago before about better positioning. I think I'm getting even better at it when it comes, especially when it comes to Ulf and using him with the AI. I haven't watched too many guides on how to really use him too much, but he's doing quite well for me by positioning him in the right way. And what this means is a lot of times, when the AI has got the spawnables coming nearby, what that would by positioning them in the right way, I was able to lure them in there, and then he would hit them as soon as they came nearby the spawnable units, or even when people would the computer would send in their character and would have a be doing a special ability, which Ulf can obviously counterattack on that. So, well, not counterattack, but he can, I can't remember what the exact term for it is, but he can attack them. So, getting better at that positioning, making sure I'm in that spot, and giving them that opening to force the AI to do something like that. So I get a bit better at doing that. So that was a bit of a learning curve for me. Setting myself up to make sure I do that, especially on the harder battles where I needed to make sure I got the win. And I also learned a bit more by making another mistake again, unfortunately, much to the chagrin of my guild leader. Learning about with the higher end bosses, the boss adjutant or the boss next to him, and making sure that we attack at the same time. So that was really good. Learning to understand a bit more of the game. Really, really good guild leader. Kerensky's name is. He has been really helpful there, explaining some more of those higher concepts of the raids, and which are a very important mechanic in the game. And even though I'm a lower level in such an amazing guild, I've got to make sure I'm pulling my weight and doing the right thing. And I didn't do the right thing in that situation. I was informed how to do better, and you know what? I'm going to do better. I'll do better moving forward. Uh, so then that's probably some of the big things I also learned there, and then also the usual stuff, like you want to balance getting gear income and shard incomes. Like, which one do you do? How often do you do one or the other? I think that's probably been a bit of a challenge. I don't know if I'm balancing it right. Like, please let me know if I'm doing this wrong. But my main focus is sometimes I try to get the characters up to a certain point. I mentioned this before. I want to get up to a certain point so I can progress through the campaigns. And shards sometimes are a very important part of that because obviously they get multipliers to their stats the higher they go up in the shards. Shards, however, obviously take quite a while to get there, and you also need orbs as well. So there is a mechanic there. You've got to balance. You've got to balance either getting those shards, which will take a long time because some of them like 80, 50, 100, you're only getting 2 or 3 a day. You've got to figure out how to balance that, plus also getting up that high gear tiers so that you can actually do more with them. So I try to be balancing more on the side of gear because I do have a fair few shards, but my bottleneck right now isn't so much shards. Whilst it is, it's not the biggest bottleneck compared to the gear. I am working on a review that I've written up on paper, but I'm talking about. But I think the gear crunch or the way to get gear at the moment in the game isn't the best it could be. And by saying that, I've seen other mobile games where they do it very differently, and the access to gear is a lot better. So you can progress some characters, and you can spend the money to get them up faster to catch up. So I'm going to talk about that a bit in my review. But the biggest thing I've been trying to focus on is getting through that gear crunch. So the gear crunch is a normal thing in a lot of mobile games. They want to try and get you, but also balancing that shard. So I'll talk about a bit of those characters that I've been working on very shortly. I'm not really like I got one of my points here is like, what is the best way for someone like me, spending a little bit of money, playing quite a bit? What is the best way to gain incomes of different gear or shards? Like, is it literally you just got to get the blackstone and keep buying it from the store, or do you buy packs? Like, what do you guys do? Tell me. I would really like to know. I've tried reading the Discord, finding out a bit more, but I haven't found too much. But I'd love to hear what you guys are doing yourselves. What the characters I've been working on? Right now I've been working on Yarrick. Yarrick is been my main one. Like, I mean, he's the boss. Like, he is so good. And I'm ashamed that I missed out early on when I was playing this game about gearing him up. And I took a massive break. I never really saw his pack to get. But I went and focused on Yarrick recently. Got his shards. I'm up there at Epic. Had great help from the guild to help me get these flak plates. Really thankful for that. Because right now I can't get them. It's a little bit too far in the Fall of Cadia. I've got a little bit to go. I've unlocked the last sector, but I've got to be able to get there. And I've got to be able to 3-star. And that's just not easy for me to do. But really good guild, like I said. Really helpful. I was asking for one, very regular, and I eventually got there. And I got my first silver rank character. That's my first one. It was huge for me. And this guy, he's been a monster. I've put a lot of effort in getting the badges for him. Getting to 29. The guardsmen do a great job. I'm getting a bit better at when to call. Sometimes I don't call soon enough, and then he dies, and I don't get any benefit from him. So I'm becoming used to, like, I guess, understanding the battle to when to call. So Yarrick's been my big focus. I've got to spend some mats here on upgrading some of his equipment, but I'm just not really sure the benefit of the equipment just yet. And so I'm going to spend some time. That's one of the things I want to also talk about, is that I'm going to spend some time learning about some other bigger mechanics of the game. I haven't really spent much time understanding equipment. It's something I'm going to go and look at over this next 2 weeks, and I'll get back to you what I've learned, picked up, how far I've progressed in my understanding. But if you guys got any videos of someone else here on YouTube, or some other really good places to get information on gear and explain the equipment and explain it better, that would be really good. That'd be really helpful. So he's been one of my main ones there. Then going to the Black Legion. So the Black Legion, I've been working on. You can see most of them all now in the bronze rank, and that was really to allow me to get through the Fall of Cadia campaign. So I'm at the Fall of Cadia campaign now, and I've been making very good inroads. I've got 3 stars across all of them there, all here, and I just, as of today, did this at 3-star after I'd done some upgrades there on Archimados, Volk, and stuff like that. So I was able to finish off this whole sector. Now I can start raiding here on Celestine, because I really would like to get her. She's really good in PvP, from my understanding. Basically, the workhorse. And then obviously Castellan Creed's also an amazing character. So I've got to get my way through here because I really need to get to those flak plates there. I'm guessing it's a pretty high in demand gear piece with the higher up tunes and the silver and gold ranks probably. I haven't looked into it in depth yet to find that out, but I imagine that's the case. Yeah, so that's where I've been working on him. The Black Legion, they've been really something I've focused a lot of effort in. Then Akimados as well, got him into here to Epic, into the 1 star or 1 red star, whatever. I don't know what red skull. I don't know how to call it. Like in other mobile games, there's different fancy names. I haven't really figured out what it is here for this. So correct me in the comments. Tell me what I should be calling when it's that red star. I guess is maybe the best way to do it. But I've put a lot of investment in him, especially also in his badge here. I've got to basically level him up here, which I haven't done yet. I'll level him up later. That's just all sort of happened today. I've got that badge and a few other things, so I haven't gotten around to doing that just yet. Then also I've been focusing on since earlier, it was like 3 or 4 days ago. I got Marnius Kalga. I've been focusing on Kalga. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Marnius Kalga. I was on the hunt for him, and the one time I wasn't recording my opening, got him. Like I said earlier. So yeah, I've been focusing on him, getting his badges, getting the gear. Again, I've got to work on the equipment. Probably he's not as good as Yarrick yet, so Yarrick's got my best Imperial gear, but I'm sure I can acquire some better gear and start slapping that down on him there. I really want to get him to silver as well. That's probably going to take a little bit of time. So silver's my goal with him, and get up his badges at least 20 something each. So that's going to take a fair bit of time as well, obviously. Then the other sides that I'm working on that are good tunes that I need to progress is Aleph. Aleph's doing really well. He is there 37-100 every day, making sure I farm his shards. He's such an easy one to get his shards. So if I don't get his shards, I'm not working on them daily. It's kind of I'm going astray because he's a top character both PvP and the raid. So he's got a lot of value. So I've been making sure I get him along with Bellator. I always get his shards as well. Bellator, he's getting close to the three red star. Gear on him is pretty good. I could switch that over to Kalga, but I get a lot of use out of Bellator. So again, I haven't switched his equipment off him yet. But I have been thinking about upgrading him a little bit here. I'm just a bit hesitant yet until I get Kalga a little bit higher. I want Kalga to be a lot stronger. So maybe that's wrong. Tell me. Please let me know in the comments. I'd really like to know if that was the wrong thing to do or the wrong thing to be doing. The other character I have been focusing on is Ulf. In that Marnius Kalga requisition drop, I also got 80 shards of this bad boy. This guy has been awesome. I mean, I love the wolves. So, getting more shards of him, getting him closer to the 3 star is really awesome. So I haven't been really too impressed with Tajark. I didn't get him up as far as I would have liked, but hopefully I might pick him up in some requisition drops because I will eventually start working on him. I got him to about here, so not too bad. I got him at rare, which is kind of like what you want to get for any of these events when I've been told. You could go a bit further, but I didn't have the crystal or blackstone income at the time to really just keep spamming. I got very busy, so not able to get all the wolf token rewards to keep it going, get all the feats done. Some of the feats I found were a little bit harder or a little bit more grindier to do, which I'll touch in my review about how I think about grindiness. Yeah, so there's been another one that I've been working on is an Anufet, the overlord, the boss guy for the Necrons. I haven't done any farming him yet, but typically most days I do a bit of farming, which is why he's about 53. I'm going to need him for the Indomitus Mirror campaign. Indomitus Mirror campaign does have some pretty good nodes for gear. Again, it's also more requisition orders. Exactly what I need to be unlocking, need to be working towards, because the more you can keep giving these resources, obviously, the more you can keep getting things. So, yeah, I mean, I've got to work on my Necrons to be helping me get through the Indomitus Mirror. So that is something that I'm sort of working on. I've been making sure I've got getting shards here for Thutmose as well. But haven't done too much for the rest of the Necrons. They're not too bad, especially when I've got a really high powered Aleph. I can get through most of the missions already. Just hard to get 3-star because obviously the other guys are pretty weak. For the Imperials and Ultramarines, really just been Bellator, Calgar, obviously he's huge. So, but then looking here at the Astra Militarum, I just got Sybil just recently from farming her. I'll keep farming her. I don't really think she's that useful, but again, character you're going to need for the mirror campaign. So I'll kind of work on her. Thaddeus Noble is a character I'm working on. He's really good looking at the different reviews and characters and their usefulness. So he's someone I'm kind of working on as well, but not every day. But another one, I really love to start getting some of the Black Templars, so I have been looking at Brother Burchard. I've been working on him. His weight at 3380. It'd be awesome to get some of those Black Templars as well. Really cool dudes. And my guild leader, Grency, he's a mad fan of Black Templars. And you know what? That's awesome. More power to him and anyone else who wants to pick a faction here and wants to go for it. I'm kind of like I enjoy a lot of the different parts of 40k, so I don't really have like one that I really love. I mean, if it was one, it would be the Space Wolves, and probably Space Wolves and Black Templars, Grey Knights, all those kind of ones are some of my favorite, and then White Scars as well. So that's going back like onto the tabletop days. What are my plans for the next 2 weeks? Mentioned some of them now. Really, my plans going for the next 2 weeks. I want to keep getting Calgar up there. Calgar to silver. One would be the main goal of my 2 weeks. The next thing to be working on is work on the Black Legion. I need to get them a little bit more powerful so I can complete and close out the Fall of Cadia campaign and have those nodes all ready there for me to be able to farm on, to get the gear and get the shards as well for those characters. So I'll probably look at I want to get Volk here up to at least ascend him. So if I can ascend him there when I've got the shards, get to 40, I can get that run red star, which is really, really good. That will just give him a little bit more survivability, not just drop almost in 1 or 2 hits. You find when you get in this higher part of the Fall of Cadia. So the other alternative, I don't take Volk and I use something like my Death Guard here, which I have a lot of shards for that I picked up through requisitions. You know what? Tell me though, guys, if you think not using Volk in the Fall of Cadia, or do you think I don't even need him? As long as I have these 4 guys here sorted, I can probably just fill it with one of the Death Guard that I have high amount of shards. Let me know in the comments. Really love to know your experiences with Fall of Cadia, getting 3 stars across the board, and that if I should just go and just gear up one of my Death Guards here, because it's probably a bit easier effort than Volk. But Volk is a really good one, what I've been told. So investing in Volk isn't terrible, even though it's a lot harder than, say, ones I've already got stars. I've got to be really efficient here to catch up. So appreciate any thoughts, comments there for me, guys. Campaign progression, I've already touched on it a little bit. The campaign progression, like I said, today I just fully starred 3-star on all the battles here. So I'm only on the last campaign. I'll get started on that over the 2 weeks, and I'll kind of do that on and off because I want to balance the gearing of Marnius Calgar, like I said, the Black Legion. So it's going to be balancing that along with doing the shard farming as well, because I think the shard farming, you kind of want to make sure you're just keeping that going background, because the shard farming takes so long that you don't want to be bottlenecked by shard farming. And yeah, the gear takes a long time as well, but if you're sitting there waiting for even get that tune to get them up further, the gear doesn't really matter, because you obviously have a point where the gear, you can't take the gear any further because of their shards or their rarity or whatever. So yeah, working on that. I haven't really touched the orcs. That's probably another month goal when I start doing the Octarius campaign. But that's what I'm doing. I'm doing batches right now. Tell me if that's a bad approach, but I'm kind of like doing it in a sequence of teams to help me keep getting through these campaigns to give me overall better rewards. Another thing I want to add into this as well is arena climbing. I haven't really talked about that before because I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. I just didn't. So now I've been playing it a bit more. Obviously, I'm doing a lot of battles every day. Some days I just haven't been able to do any really arena battles other than the minimum daily amount. But I'm getting better at doing this. I'm hitting my ceiling now in the arena, and it is hard a battle. So sometimes I just have to go in there and lose to drop. Otherwise, I've got to keep spending the Blackstone to refresh, and more than likely they're going to be higher power than me anyway. So I just find it doesn't matter. I just go in there, do my battles. I might lose. I try to get as far as I can on this track to get as many as I can of the Harkin Warclaimer. I think I should be able to get him at the end of this to the next level, the next ascension to 85. So he'd be like two red star then. So I'll be able to get him at the end of this arena week and then go again. I mean, I'm doing arena mostly because I want to get the raid tokens, man. Raid tokens at the moment are so hard to get. Like, you guys know any ways to easily get a lot more raid tokens other than buying them? I would love to know, because raid tokens and the lack thereof is really frustrating when you have very little time sometimes to play the game. But I touched on that in my review as well. My opinions there with that. Yes, that was a bit of my arena climbing. I just also want to give a big shout out. Like, I haven't done this really before because I'm still figuring this out. We really want to give a big shout out to my guild who took me in. I was only like 18 or 19 power level. Most of those guys are all in the 30s. They took me in way under. They've given me access to do all the raids. They've given me information. They know that I'm making the effort, and they know that I'm spending money, I'm putting in a lot of effort to get there. But they still made the sacrifice rather than taking someone with a much bigger account, and obviously investing in me and helping me to learn. Now, that's the really kind of thing you want for a guild. I want to give a massive shout out to for those guys and Watch Fortress Ariosh. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm really bad. So I'm typical Aussie, saying things incorrectly. So these guys, Watch Fortress Ariosh is, and I'm part of Death Watch Ariosh Quintus, or Quintus, and my guild leader in there. He's an amazing guy. I'm really thankful for all the effort that these guys put into me. And so, hit up their Discord server if you're looking for a really good guild that really wants to help you, really want to be part of a community that actually cares. A lot of these guys are really good. And yeah, my guild leader here, Kerensky, great guy, Cow Juice, and Cortez. I want to give a shout out to those guys, and even Zul, and there's a few other guys here I've talked to, and they helped me out with gear. Pretty much everyone. I could nearly shout out everyone here. They've all helped out with guild. No one's ever given me a hard time asking dumb questions. No one's ever given me a hard time not pulling my weight. Fantastic group of guys. Much appreciated. Much thanks. And appreciate everyone again viewing, watching, being here, looking. Please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. I really need that. Really appreciate that. And do leave comments too. That always helps, I guess, the YouTube algorithms. So please do make the effort to comment. And catch you for the next one. Look out for my review. Hopefully coming soon. About 1 month in playing the game. Have a good one, guys. Remember, have a good time playing. Remember, it's just a game. See you guys.